Jai Guruji Sangat Ji. I am very blessed today to get an opportunity to record the 8th chapter of the book Surcharged with Divine Love, written by Sukhmani Aunty. This is recorded by Namrata Aunty. And the chapter goes like this. The name of the chapter is Other Darshans. जिन पर दिए तिन सुख पाए, वदभागे दर्शन पाए. Those who meditate on God find peace. By great good fortune, the darshan is obtained. Over the years that I have spent with Guruji, I noticed that he had the power to give darshan to his sangat anywhere, anytime, and in any form they desired. How does he do that? How can he ask God to come to his disciple and give darshans? Does he have that much of an authority? Obviously so. But then, who is he? These were the many questions that ran through my mind ever since I heard the Sangat speak of Guruji giving them darshans. I tried to understand his position in the divine cosmos. Who can give life? Who can control death? Who can control nature? Who can cure ailments such as cancer? Try asking yourselves these questions and you, like myself, will come up with just one answer. God or the Supreme Power Himself. Getting a darshan is the most holy of all holy experiences. Many people in Guruji's Sangat have been blessed by the same. I remember talking to a Sikh gentleman who narrated his experience to me. He heard about Guruji from someone he knew and came to seek his blessings. On seeing Guruji, he wasn't very happy to know that Guruji was bald and not a Sikh. Disappointed, he went back home only to be woken up by Guruji at night, lying down on a bed beside him. Badly shaken and scared, he sat up and Guruji changed his appearance to that of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Addressing the gentleman by his name, Guruji said, "You came back disappointed because you saw I was bald." Feeling rather shameful of his assumption, he fell at Guruji's feet and thus became a disciple and visited Guruji often. Another spiritual gentleman, whom I have known for many years, visited Guruji along with his elder brother. Guruji called them both inside and filled up his double bed with diamond sets. He asked the elder brother to pick up any one that he fancied. He joined his hands and begged Guruji not to put him in the web of Maya, materialism. Guruji then asked the younger brother, who was very spiritual, "What do you want?" Asked Guruji. "Guruji, please give me the divine darshan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji," he replied. Guruji smiled and walked out of the room. After about 3 months, the younger brother was in meditation in his prayer room that was locked from inside. Guruji called out of him and said, "Wake up, you wanted darshan of Guru Nanak and now the time has come." Guruji disappeared and for about 45 minutes this gentleman had darshan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Later on, the same person was blessed with the darshan of 10 Sikh Gurus, Meera Ji and Kabir Ji. Many people in the Sangat have seen Guruji in the form of Shiv Ji. A friend of mine sitting next to me in the temple suddenly started crying. She got up and ran out as if not being able to see Guruji. It seemed very strange to me, as I had never witnessed anything like this before. On being asked what is causing her to cry like this, all she could say was that she couldn't look at Guruji's eyes. His eyes were shining so bright that it's blinding me. I can't see Guruji sitting on the asan. Instead, I see Shivji. She said. I tried to calm her down, and each time I took her inside to sit among the Sangat, she would start to cry again. Guruji called me and told me to take her to his room and calm her down. "Guruji, what is wrong with her?" I asked. "I have given her the divine darshan of Shivji, but she is unable to bear it. Not everyone can handle being given a darshan. People can even go mad." This is when I realized that it's easy for Guruji to give darshans, but it's not easy for us humans to bear the impact of such an experience. One day, while sitting with Guruji, he told me, "I have blessed your grandfather with the darshan of Shivji. Next is your turn." Needless to say, I was on the top of the world. My grandfather was a saintly man and never told anyone about his spiritual experiences. After probing him for 2 long days, he finally admitted to having had the darshans, and all he said was that It was an amazing experience that cannot be explained in words. Every day after visiting Guruji, I would go home, hoping to have Shivji's darshan. I would clean up my room, which otherwise never got cleaned, thinking Shivji could probably come probably not like coming to a messy room like mine. I made sure to wear decent night dresses every night. But still, I never had Shivji's darshan for almost a year. One night, I had totally forgotten about Guruji's promise to me. I finally had Shivji's darshan. It was an amazing experience, to say the least, and I understood what my grandfather meant when he said, "It can't be expressed in words." In Delhi, while sitting next to Guruji's asana, I suddenly felt a bit dizzy. I blinked a few times and looked up at Guruji, and what I saw was something that was totally out of the world. Since I was sitting on the right hand side of Guruji, I could only see his side profile. On his face, I saw a big, beautiful golden eye with thick, long eyelashes. As I looked in awe, Guruji smiled at me, and soon everything was back to normal. I was hesitant in telling anyone of what I saw, as again, I wanted to be sure it wasn't my imagination. Guruji must have sensed my doubt, for as soon as I reached back home to Chandigarh, someone came over and gave me the Narad Puran to read. In the first few pages, the Narad Puran describes Shivji as the one with big beautiful golden eye. I got my answer. Apart from giving physical darshan to his sangat, he also gave darshans on his body. Body of a Mahapurush is not ordinary. Many times a Shivling and a Nag have been sighted on Guruji's forehead by many of his sangat. While massaging his feet, my mother have seen lions in an embossed form on his feet and many faces with eyes on his legs. On being asked why she sees lion on his body so often, Guruji could tell my mother that a lion is a symbol of Shiv. There were times when faces would develop on all 10 fingers of my mother's hand. She again asked Guruji why she was seeing such things on her hand, and he would smile and tell that they were all the different roots, that means faces of Shivji. I too was blessed with the darshan of Shirdi Wale Sai Baba on Guruji's tongue. Once, on the day of Shivratri, I was unable to visit Guruji in Delhi, so my mother and I decided to keep a fast instead. We went to the market to buy some fruit along with my grandfather. Just as we parked a car in the parking lot, a sadhu knocks on the window where my grandfather was sitting. He pointed towards a jeep and said that the Mahapurush is calling you. As we turned to look back, we saw a blue jeep with another sadhu sitting in it, sipping a glass of milk. The jeep must have had just materialized because there was no vehicle in the parking lot when we came, and there is no way a diesel vehicle could come behind us without us hearing it. And what's more, we were parked at the only entrance to that market area. My grandfather got down and walked up to the jeep while I sat in the car trying to observe the Mahapurush mannerism. Although the Mahapurush looked nothing like Guruji, there was something about him that attracted me towards him. He was dark in complexion, had long hair, was dressed in a saffron robe. I noticed that the way he drank his milk was very much like Guruji had his with small sips. He spoke to my grandfather but kept looking towards us, and I was convinced it was Guruji. I noticed the jeep had Om Namah Shivaya written on it, and the number of the jeep came to a total of 7. Somehow I was convinced it was Guruji and decided to ask him later when I went to Delhi. After a month later, while sitting with Guruji, I asked him if he was the one who gave us darshans on Shivratri day. Making sure I didn't give too many details, to my surprise he said, "Yes, I came in a blue jeep." That day I realized that my Guru can come to me in any form and I may not be able to recognize him the next time. Guruji, God can come to us in any form, even as a beggar. We are not always polite to beggars. Please tell us, how can we save ourselves from making a mistake of shunning away God if He ever comes to us in such a form? I asked Guruji, feeling ashamed of the number of times I had been rude to beggars. Guruji ever so understandingly replied, "कुछ दे नहीं सकती ते हाथ जोड़ के मन विच कह दो कि माफ़ करो, जो असली संत होएगा ते समझ जाएगा." If you can't give anything to a beggar, don't be rude. Just fold your hands and say, "Please forgive me," and if it's a saint or God in a beggar's disguise, he will understand. He further added, "गुप्त दान दिया करो, इस तरह दान दो कि राइट हैंड को पता ना चले कि लेफ्ट हाथ ने क्या दिया है। हमेशा लेफ्ट हैंड से दान दो क्योंकि लेफ्ट हैंड खुला दान करता है। राइट हैंड हमेशा सोचेगा कि मैं कुछ वापस रख लवा। गुप्त दान और गुप्त पथ से गर्भ जूनी से मुक्ति मिल जाती है। यू मस्ट इंडल्ज इन चैरिटी, बट चैरिटी मस्ट बी डन in such a way that your right hand does not know what your left hand has given. Always give with your left hand, as it will give freely. Your right hand will always want to hold some things back. He said, charity and prayers done on the quiet without anyone knowing is the only way to liberate your soul from the cycle of life and death. Guruji, what else can we do to attain moksha? I asked. Help the needy, feed the hungry, and read the Shiv Puran. This is the easiest way to attain liberation in this Kalyug. Jai Guruji, Anantaram Shukrana Guruji. I am really blessed to have an honor to read chapter number 8 of Surcharged with Divine Love, written by Sukhmani Aunty.